Committee Assistant Logan Schaefer. Thank you all for being here with us. And Logan, if you wouldn't mind, go ahead and call on the roll.
Cinder Berg, Cinder Heron, Cinder Tishner, Representative Brown,
Here.
Representative Heverin, Representative Kulkarni, Miss Baird, Mr. Forrester,
Here.
Miss Justice, Miss Smith, Miss Smith Willis, Co-Chair Jackson,
Present.
Co-Chair Mays Bledsoe.
Present. Thank you. Looks like we have a quorum. I want to introduce a new member for us today, Miss Anita Justice. She's coming to us from Louisville with Louisville Urban League, so we're happy to have you join our committee. First, if I can get an approval of the September meeting minutes. Motion. Thank you. Is there a second? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. That motion passes. Well, we have an exciting agenda today with two of our schools, one from Lexington and one from Louisville, and talking a little bit about some of our excellence in gender-specific education. So I'm real grateful to have our friends from Carter G. Woodson in Lexington. Dr. Akins is a neighbor and a friend, and I've watched her work for a long time, so I'm very pleased to have you. Dr. Akins, if you want to introduce who you have with you, and you may have the floor.
We are so excited to be here today. Let me first introduce you to the principal of Carter G. Woodson Academy, Miss Nikisha Cozart, and then one of our staff, Dr. DeMarcus Hobson. And we're here today to tell you about all the exciting things we have going on in the Lexington-Fayette County public school system with Carter G. Woodson Academy. I'm going to turn it over to our principal at this time.
Thank you, Dr. Akins. Thank you to all who have so graciously invited us to come and share about the great things that are happening at Carter G. Woodson Academy. I am Nikisha Cozart, and I'm the current principal to serve these young men in our district in Fayette County. All right, so we will begin with, we're from margin to model with Carter G. Woodson Academy and how we came about. We are here to redefine culture, access, and opportunity for young men. So our frame and statement is our why. It's deeply rooted in our purpose to affirm identity, ignite intellect, and inspire integrity in every scholar that we serve. And all of the things that we do are aligned with the mission and vision of Fayette County Public Schools, and we serve under that umbrella. So the mission of Fayette County Public Schools is to create a collaborative community that ensures all students achieve at high levels and graduate prepared to excel in a global society. All of our leadership comes under our superintendent, Dr. Demetrius Liggins, and he provides great support in ensuring that our district offers several opportunities to meet the needs of all scholars that are in our district. We have a commitment to ensure that every scholar and student in our district experiences belonging, representation, and equitable access to opportunity. We have several key initiatives with defined metrics of success, progress reporting, multi-tiered systems of support, positive behavioral interventions and supports, social and emotional, mental, and health support, as well as data and accountability. We are culturally responsive with our instruction. Professional learning and capacity building is a key area to ensure our staff are prepared to provide the level of instruction that is needed for equity-centered teaching and inclusive leadership. And we have a policy review and equity audits, and our board oversees all of that. And it's for unintended barriers and to revise and foster inclusion and equity for historically marginalized groups. Mm-hmm. We also seek for expanded access and opportunity through restorative practices, targeted efforts in higher level classes for AP, IB, dual credit, and dual enrollment. We also want to ensure diversity across special and magnet programs that align with the district demographics. And so that's just a brief introduction of what we will bring to you today to show that we are aligned with the state and the district. When you control a man's thinking, you do not have to worry about his actions. A key quote from Dr. Carter G. Woodson. And we serve to counter that narrative that our young men, their thinking will not be controlled. They will have control of their own thinking through exploratory learning.
We have our vision here, and our vision, we stand by this quote: to educate, motivate, and activate the potential for excellence that lies within every male. This quote, that means to us, this quote means that first we start with education, which is something that no one can take away from you, no matter what. And once you start to flow in your education, it's easier for yourself to be self-motivated and for others to also help motivate you. And once those two complement each other, it's easy to activate the potential for excellence, which lies within each of our males here at Carter G. Woodson. So that is the, sir. I'm also Devon Ellery. I'm a senior here at Carter G. Woodson Academy.
The why of Carter G. Woodson Academy. Carter G. Woodson Academy came out of our community. We had a community program called BMW Academy. And so this need was recognized through BMW, and that is the why of Carter G. Woodson Academy. It was founded to close opportunity gaps and redefine what excellent looks like for young Black males in Fayette County. Now, our namesake of Carter G. Woodson, why did we name that? He is the founder of Black History Week that has been extended to Black History Month. He also attended Berea College in Berea, Kentucky, and he symbolizes the power of education as liberation. Our core purpose: to educate, empower, and equip young men academically, socially, and morally to become leaders of character and consequence. Now, our cultural foundation is found in the WELL principles. We expect all of our young men first to be well behaved. As a 46-year educator, here's what I know: that the reason why many of our young men or students are not well behaved is because they've not been taught what good behavior looks like. And so they're to be well behaved, well mannered. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. Please, thank you. Those are words that will open doors for you. They're to be well dressed. As you see how they're dressed today, that's how they come to school every day. They're to be well spoken. They're to be well read, because readers are leaders, and they are to be well traveled. And some of them have even gone on trips abroad internationally so they can be well traveled. And this is what is the anchor of our culture and serves as a daily expectation of excellence for every young man who comes through the door at Carter G. Woodson Academy.
Thank you. And I would like to note that there is one caveat in here. We don't own, it's not just for Black males, Carter G. Woodson Academy. We are a public school system, and any male that lives within the district is allowed to apply to come. We do teach through the lens of African American history and culture, but the program is for all males to be served. They have that opportunity to be with Carter G. Woodson Academy. So in alignment with our district strategic priorities, unity, belonging, and student efficacy, Carter G. Woodson is a model of this priority, and students are seen, valued, and held to the highest standards. Integrated accountability system, we use data and reflective practices to measure belonging, engagement, and success among scholars. Holistic support systems, the Academy fosters belonging through restorative practices, brotherhood circles, mentorship, and culturally responsive teaching. Addressing systemic barriers, Carter G. Woodson, our success directly responds to historical inequities in access and representation for underrepresented populations. And our district-wide initiatives in practice are positive behavior intervention, multi-tiered systems of support, representation, and continuous professional learning that are embedded in our approach.
Introduce yourself.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I'm Scholar Higgins. I'm in the 10th grade and I attend Carter G. Woodson Academy. I'm not going to read all the stuff on here, but I'm just going to do points. For brotherhood and belonging, I said that we often refer one another as our brother's keeper. We hold each other accountable, make sure we're up to par and look presentable, and we make sure we're all following our expectations and following our standard. For visual and environmental culture, I said stuff like our mural of Carter G. Woodson. Every time I walk into school, it just makes me think of our potential and our excellence that we can achieve. And I said our Greek fraternity murals we have, I think that promotes brotherhood and togetherness. And lastly, our trophy case that's in our front office, I think that also shows that we have excelled a lot, but it also shows our growth, that we can still achieve more growth in the future. And lastly, for our reflective culture, we have our Carter G. Woodson Institute, which is in February. And this month, for October, we have a Hispanic Heritage Program. And I think this just helps us promote and show our culture, our history, our daily life, and our activity in our community, and just how we're different. And yeah.
Thank you.
When we think about the signature and the replicability of our practices, Carter G. Woodson is rooted very strategically, not from a lens of discipline, but through a lens of culture. Not compliance, but the access to culture. And what does that mean for us? When we think about the culturally rooted curriculum, it's integrated throughout all of the disciplines, and it's connected to learning identities and targets that are mandated, obviously, through the state and with our district. And we are following national trends concerning that. So our students, we're not teaching them what to think. We're teaching them how to think. And so when we teach leaders how to think critically through the lens of culture, it helps us shape leaders for tomorrow that sees not just one individual as an out, but it also helps us to navigate the discipline of brotherhood and the initiative of what our communities stand for. The mentorship model that you see here, our males, when they come in the morning, our seniors, our upperclassmen, they help out all of the lowerclassmen. So the middle schoolers have access directly to mentorship, not only in the building with their brothers, but outside of the building as well. You just heard one of our scholars mention fraternities come in to the campus and support the day-to-day operation, whether that be through class engagement or through through outside mentorship with their peers. We also have dual enrollment at Carter G. We're in a pipeline currently for an associate's program. We have 51 hours of dual enrollment connected with Kentucky State University, and our scholars are will leave in the future with an associate's degree, and our current 9th and 10th graders will be a part of that continuous pipeline. And so when we think about those accomplishments rooted in culture, again, we're giving them the opportunities that they may not have had otherwise within the district.
Good afternoon. My name's EJ Parrish. I'm in the 10th grade, and I attend Carter G. Woodson Academy. So, family engagement and working connections are very important in a kid's life. Carter G. Woodson actively practices what the district promotes: partnership, transparency, and collaboration with families as key stakeholders. Working conditions goals. The school fosters a highly effective and culturally responsive workforce. Aligning with FCPS emphasizes an educator well-being and culture intelligence. Having someone in your life by your side while attending Carter G. Woodson Academy is very important, because it's a struggle for many people to get up in the morning, put their ties on and put all the extra things on as if other schools don't have to. And it gets us very prepared for the next step after high school. And I would just like to thank all of our teachers and everybody that's by our side. But back to what I was saying, having someone is just very important, and you can't move a next step without someone helping you and poking your shoulder every day throughout the struggle. Thank you.
Community impact and broader implications. The impact that we're having on our scholars, they graduate with a strong sense of identity, academic competence, and community responsibility. And the brotherhood that they have talked about, I mean, it doesn't stop the day that they graduate. That brotherhood extends and expands for many years to come. Families and the broader community see significant shifts in confidence and engagement. As our young men travel, being well-traveled in the community, you see a sense of confidence that they have because of attending Carter G. Woodson. Because of what has happened in the Fayette County Public School System with Carter G. Woodson Academy, we have been blessed that this has expanded to other areas of the Commonwealth. In the Louisville area, they have the W.E.B. Du Bois Academy because of Carter G. Woodson Academy. We have worked with Bowling Green, Kentucky in a program that they have in their school system, Owensboro, Kentucky. And so I always tell people that Fayette County is a trailblazer in helping being progressive and having a replicable opportunity for other students. And then we have a call to action. We invest in cultural belonging, is invested in academic achievement. When students see themselves positively reflected, they rise to what they can become. You got
And so when we think about our clubs and many of the opportunities that our scholars have, none of our clubs are excluded in terms of who can and who cannot join. We have the basis of academic stability within our clubs. We have our Student Government Association, our Beta Club, our Meta Arts and Engineering, Spanish Club, and you just heard one of our scholars talk about the Spanish programming this month for Spanish Heritage Month. FFA, Future Farmers of America, Carter G. Woodson is a rising institution within our local and regional FFA, even nationally. And our Green Team, and of course our Woodson Institute, which is an institute for leadership, education, equity, and race relations. And we deal directly with the community around scholarship opportunity, conferencing, and symposia for our scholars.
I am currently in SGA, which is short for Student Government Association, and I'm also a part of Beta Club. Today I will talk to you all about a little bit about Student Government Association. Everyone that has been selected on that staff has been voted in by administrators and also our own peers, high school and middle school. So it's kind of special to be in those positions because it basically means that your peers and others around you at your school believe that you can be a special part to helping Carter G rise and become better as the years go on. So Student Government Association, empowering scholars to develop leadership skills and advocate for their peers. So my role in Student Government Association is treasurer. We also have little clips that help identify who we are throughout the school. And my role is treasurer, so I handle all of the money and I handle all field trips, expenses that we may come across when we want to go do things, like I said, field trips or just school events throughout the year. Yeah.
I'm Scholar Parrish, and I'm in Beta Club. You have to have a 3.5 or higher. I just wanna say that that's very important, and that's something that a lot of our scholars are striving for, is getting a 3.5 and higher. But Beta Club is an honor society that promotes academic excellence and community service. So on days we have meetings, we do a lot of things for the homeless and people in need, and we do a lot of things with food, giving out clothing, and just a lot of things around the community. So that's about it about Beta Club. And I just want to say that Beta Club is very important, and all of our administrators do strive for us to get to that goal, because that's very important, as grades can help us for the next step of life. Thank you.
I'm Scholar Higgins. I'm in FFA, which is known as Future Farmers of America. And at Carter G. Woodson, for FFA, we attend workshops, conventions, and do field trips, which opens up opportunities in the agriculture business. It can help us pursue careers such as aquaponics, agribusiness, as I stated, etc. And we also have a many dual credit classes through K-State, which is really known for their agriculture profession. So I think that just expands our knowledge with agriculture and helps us succeed if we want to pursue something in agriculture.
Let me follow up when we talk about the Beta Club. Oh, thank you. Let me follow up when we talk about the Beta Club. We have a club called the Bow Tie Club, and every young man strives to get a bow tie. That means you have to have a 3.5, and we have a big ceremony, and we average every year at least 70 to 75 young men who are inducted into the Bow Tie Club, which is a big deal at Carter G. Woodson Academy, is to get that bow tie and to be a part of that ceremony. Let me also talk about some of our outstanding scholars who have had opportunities that many students would not have had. We have had 2 students to attend the Gatton Academy of Mathematics and Science at Western Kentucky University and have graduated from there. And we've also had 1 to attend the Craft Academy at Morehead State University and has graduated from there.
Okay, and thank you all for sharing. And we're going to hit the numbers quickly. You can read them, and I know they're available for the public. We won't spend a lot of time on those, although they are great numbers. Our total enrollment is 302. We have academic and career readiness for 2 years, average of a 67%. We have 100% post-secondary success and advanced placement. That means they are either in college, going into the workforce, or looking for some type of degree or certification. 95% average attendance, give or take 1 or 2%. I couldn't pull up last year's percentage, so I wanted to be sure to note that for accuracy. Last year, we had $1.8 million in scholarship offers, which means we were successful in preparing our young men for opportunity. So we always strive to let them know you don't have to go to college, but you have an opportunity and a choice in what your future looks like. Our graduation rate currently is 100%. This year, we have expanded our dual enrollment. We have 90% of our high school scholars who are enrolled to take 1 or more dual credit classes this year. Again, creating more opportunity. And we have our scholars who are eligible to be placed in our CTE pathways. Our numbers for enrollment, we have 72% African American, 99.6% Hispanic, almost 5% white, almost 10% that are 2 or more, and 3.3% other. Our pathways at Carter G. Woodson Academy are cinematography, engineering, and agricultural sciences. They also have an opportunity, if our schedule permits, for them to attend our new innovative learning center known as The Hill. If you have not seen that location, please see it. It's a treat and a blessing for our children. Our agricultural program is in partnership with Locust Trace Science and Technology there. Our MAP scores for the fall of last year to the spring, if you look at the growth, the percentages, how we've grown, the green and the blue have the biggest margin for growth. for proficient and distinguished scholars. For math, it is an area of growth for us. That growth area in the yellow and the green are not, the green and the blue are not as large as we would like it. So that is an area of focus for us this year. Our achievement overview on the map for last year, we had over 40% that scored in 61st percentile or higher in math. And then we had 64% that scored 61st percentile or higher. And those are all grades 6 through 9. If you look at our ACT performance levels, our composite score, Carter G is the purple. Fayette County Public Schools is the tan. Blue is males and African American males. And if you look at that, we are competing with all counterparts. And as we look at our young men, our males, we tell them you're not competing against each other, because once you graduate, you are competing against every student in this nation and globally. We have yet to receive our KSA scores for this year. They should be coming this week. But the year before, 23-24, we had 40% for reading proficiency. 4 and 10 were proficient or distinguished. Our grammar and mechanics was 35% in proficient and distinguished, and 55.9% in writing were proficient or distinguished in on-demand writing. A third of our scholars were proficient and or distinguished in math, and 37% of those were approaching mastery. Again, we have 100% graduation rate currently, and we look forward to better numbers as we continue to grow, and better opportunities for our scholars as they continue to be trailblazers of change and writing their own narrative. So by investing in cultural belonging, Carter G. Woodson Academy empowers young men to achieve academic excellence and develop into leaders of character, and consequence. This model demonstrates the transformative power of centering identity, building community, and providing a holistic support, key strategies that align with Fayette County Public Schools' vision for unity, belonging, and student excellence. Thank you.
Well, thank you all very much for coming and presenting the school. I'm a big fan of Carter G. Woodson in Fayette County, and I appreciate scholars, you all coming over and sharing a little bit about your involvement at the school. I've been there several times, and I was shocked at the growth of the FFA. Floored, actually. I see that in the rural schools quite a bit, but to see that in a Fayette County school is pretty neat, especially some of the touring of the urban gardening, which we have out in the pods outside, which was fascinating to see how you could be a farmer anywhere, which I think is fantastic. So we do have a few questions, and I'll start with Representative Jackson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. To say that I'm impressed would be an understatement. I was trying to impress Ms. Akins earlier when I introduced myself. I said, I've been in education 32 years. She said, well, I've been in it 46 years. So I couldn't impress her with my 32 years and her 46. But thank you for your service again, for what you do. But really, really impressed with these gentlemen, young men that came with you today, and everything that you're doing. I haven't been able to visit a school like this, but I've heard about them, and I can tell you I'm really impressed. Just 3 or 4 real quick question. Number of years in operation? How long have you been?
We started in 2012.
Okay.
We opened in 2012.
So approximately 13 years. Selection process, I know you said you have 306 students.
We currently have 302 enrolled.
Okay.
It is a lottery process. It is an application process. So many of our special programs in Fayette County, there is an application process and then a lottery selection for them to apply.
Okay, that makes sense. maximum number that you could handle?
We could handle 350. We chose to stop right at 300 because of spacing. Last year we were up a little more than this, and we chose to not take additional in other grades to exceed. We really wanted to stay right at 300 just for space.
Understandable. So everything's funded through Fayette County Public Schools?
Yes.
Okay, you don't have to fundraise and do all that kind of stuff. Okay.
No.
I guess my last question, why couldn't, I see the success that you're having. Why could we not do this across the state of Kentucky? Why can we only do this in Lexington and Louisville, a couple places like that?
Well, for one reason, you got to be creative and innovative and out of the box. And we're blessed to be in a district that is very creative and innovative and out of the box. And it can be replicated. This is not rocket science. It's just finding the right people, the committed staff, and those who want to do a program like this. This is a program for boys, and we have learned that boys do learn differently from girls. So our teachers go through what's called the Gearing Institute that helps them to understand that how boys learn differently from girls. So we would help anyone. As a matter of fact, many of our staff, we've gone to other states to help them start programs like Carter G. Woodson Academy. So we would be glad to help anyone to start an all-male academy.
Thank you all. Keep up the good work.
And I would like to add to that our district, we also have a RISE Academy for girls, STEM Academy for girls. We have a Younger Academy for boys that is a STEM academy. We have Opportunity Middle College that kind of promotes first-time opportunities for first-generation students to go to college, and that's in collaboration with BCTCS. And we have STEAM Academy, which is another A5 program. We have a lot of programs. We have the Stables. We have, I don't want to leave anybody out, Audrey Grievous Center. We have lots of programs, and the majority of those programs are serving underrepresented populations. Mm-hmm. And we are overcoming those barriers so everyone has an opportunity to achieve in their own way and a way to demonstrate their own ability. Everybody learns differently, and just one approach does not fit all. And I think our leaders, our board, our superintendent, they have all bought into that, and they strive and make it possible that we can really reach every child and family. Mm-hmm. So kudos to those leaders that we are blessed to serve under.
Thank you. Representative Brown?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I think that it's very important, and you all talked about the association with Carter G. Woodson with Fayette County Public Schools. I'd like to specifically call out the school that houses the Carter G. Woodson Academy.
We are housed with Frederick Douglass. We're co-located with Frederick Douglass High School as a part of Fayette County. So that's what Mrs. Cozart was talking about, the space limitation. We are co-located with another school, and that was designed that way for us to be co-located with them.
Okay, I think it's important to understand, for people to understand that are not familiar with Fayette County, to understand that Fayette County plays a vital role with the Carter G. Woodson Academy, and Frederick Douglass High School houses, and it's a program within Fayette County Public Schools. So that's important for people to understand and know that don't know about the Carter G. Woodson Academy. You all have talked extensively about the academy, but I just wanted to bring out that it is a program in Fayette County Public Schools, and the Frederick Douglass High School it houses this system. I think it's real important to understand that the young people that you all have, the dual credit and the things that are occurring, helps young people have possibilities of understanding and knowing who and what they can be. And if they can see it, they can achieve it. I didn't know about the bow tie club, and I don't wear bow ties, but I'm pretty sharp too. But that's something to shoot for, I think when young people have something to reach for, reach for the moon, if they fall short, they'll be among the stars. And I think that's what you all are teaching them. So kudos to the Carter G. Woodson Academy. And I just wanted to bring that out and make sure that people, Fayette County Public Schools right now is under the microscope as far as its operations and funding. But I think that Carter G. Woodson and what it's doing for the young people that are in Carter G. Woodson Academy says that Fayette County is doing a lot that's right and good. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank
Senator
you.
Herron.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you all for your presentation, and thank you to the young scholars for coming and presenting in front of us. It is not easy to come and present in front of legislators, so thank you for your courage and your bravery and showing your experience with us, so I appreciate it. I do have just a couple of questions from your presentation. I think that you all said you currently have 300 students right now.
Yes.
How many of those are seniors?
What's about 38? 38.
Okay, and then the follow-up question I have is, are you all doing any type of long-term like study on those on the scholars that you have leaving your program, so we can just see like in 10 years these are what these scholars are doing now, or anything like that? Have you all been able to like track? And I know that you all showed a little bit, but if there's any different type of study where you're actually tracking the success or non-success of students.
Yes, we are currently in the process right now of gathering that data, because next year will be the 10-year anniversary of our first graduating class. So we're going to go back and track all of those to see where they are. We've gotten some good feedback.
Awesome. Well, again, just thank you all for what you're doing. And I will just say this, as someone who grew up in Richmond and Madison County, that's where I'm from, I know that our public school systems are very important. And I, as a student, I did not like school because of the sense of belonging. And so now that we have schools like Carter G. Woodson, and then I know that we've got some schools in Louisville as well, who are really trying to make sure that we create a culture and climate within buildings is so important. And so again, thank you all for your leadership and your vision and dedication to making sure that all students have the opportunity to be successful.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I just have just a few questions. I mean, I know the K through 12 programs, so you have about 40, 35 in each class.
Yes.
On average. And then do you see students coming routinely in high school, middle school, elementary, or do you start and you stay, or do you have someone coming in maybe after middle school?
We do. Our biggest class always comes in 6th grade, where we take typically 50. In other grades, we fill those as space allows and as staffing allows. We do a lot. It's a master schedule. When we hire teachers who typically have more than one certification, because we need them to teach in several areas. Our teachers work extremely hard. They have 4 to 5 different preps in an A/B rotation. We don't have one teacher that teaches one subject at one grade level. So they are stretched, they are strapped, but they are successful. They stay after for tutoring and all the things to give our scholars what they need. With that said, we take scholars up until 11th grade, and when they get into the 11th and 12th grade, we have to be very sure that we don't accept someone that we cannot graduate. Because if you come in and you need 3 English classes and 4 math classes to graduate, well, we only have 2 teachers that teach high school English. So, and only 2 that teach high school math. So your schedule may not work, and we may not be able to accommodate that, and we don't want to put a student in a bad spot.
Thank you. That makes a lot of sense. And then do you find, we've been talking a little bit about same sex or same gender education, do you find that most successful in middle school, elementary, or high school, or does it matter?
I see more success in the middle school. I see most gratitude once they've graduated. Because in high school, they're seeing their peers that don't have to dress in a suit. They see their peers that aren't getting redirected to class immediately, or having to stay after for tutoring and reassess, or getting phone calls home, or missing assignment reports or a D's and F report sent home every week. So they battle that with their peers. There's a lot of riding because you attend Carter G. Woodson Academy, but from struggle comes strength. So they're stronger because of that. They overcome so much adversity. And when they graduate and they get on college campuses and in jobs, the feedback we've gotten from our graduates has been nothing short of phenomenal about their preparedness and ability to push through.
No question. Do you have one more question at the end? I know you've done a lot of work with Commerce Lexington and with our business community. Do you want to highlight a little bit of that?
One of the partnerships that we have is through Commerce Lexington, and we started through Carter G and BMW. Our Chamber of Commerce does a trip to another city every year to look at that city, the best practices, what we can learn from that city that we can bring back to Lexington. So we started a junior chamber trip, and we take between 45 young men to another city where they get to meet the mayor, the government officials, the educational officials, and they get to spend time with them. And then we come back and we make a report to Mayor Gordon and the council people. We make a report to, usually Dr. Liggins goes with us on the trip. And let me say that, when we started this idea of having a junior chamber trip, Dr. Liggins was right there with us. And to have these young men with the police chief, the president of a bank, and several of our leaders who go along, our councilmen, and to sit in the evenings after dinner and be able to have a one-on-one conversation with these men who are, they look up to, and they tell them, I need you to take my place. And so you're along for this. And so Dr. Liggins is right there with them. And as I say, our police chief. And so that has truly been an excellent opportunity that we partner with Commerce Lexington in doing a junior chamber trip. We've been to Charleston, we've done Huntsville, Alabama, and this year we're going to Chattanooga.
Fantastic. I know several of the men who've been on that trip and talk
Yeah.
about the mutual gratification they have of inspiring. So I think that's fantastic.
And can I clarify? There is a distinct difference between the BMW Academy and Carter G. Woodson Academy. BMW Academy is a community partner, and the vision of BMW Academy is what birthed Carter G. Woodson.
Right.
Carter G. Woodson is a separate entity with Fayette County Public Schools, and then the Saturday program for BMW, they support the needs of all scholars in Carter G. Woodson Academy with Fayette County Public Schools for academic support. But to be at Carter G. Woodson Academy does not mean that you have to be a member of BMW Academy. They are two separate entities. And that chamber trip is sponsored through BMW Academy. We just have several of our scholars who participate in that.
Yeah. Thank you for that. I know that most people don't. I know Representative Brown, did you have one more comment?
I just have one question. I'd like a comment and a question. Thank you all very much for coming in for your presentation. I know you all are anxious to get out of those hot seats, and you all are ready to get out of here. But if you all would just kindly stay for a few minutes until we have another presentation. If you all could make it to stay for a while, we want to get a photograph to memorialize this occasion with myself, and I think I'm the only one from Lexington, but with the members. I forgot. Yeah, but with the representatives from Lexington and other members of the committee, if they'd like to be in the photograph, we'd like to get a photograph. If you all could just stay for a while. Thank you very much.
And let me acknowledge one of my former students is sitting up there, Attorney Baird is up there, and she was one of the most phenomenal students I ever had in my 46 years as an educator. So good to see you up there.
Thank you. And I wasn't going to say anything, but I'm really about to bounce out of my seat at this. Anything she touches is gold. You hear her talking about all of the things that she had an idea and she did it. She asked for this and she gets it. If she asks for something, give it to her, because she has proven success. Now, she says 46 years. She looks like she's 46, so I'm not sure how that adds up. But I challenge anybody that's listening. She clearly has proven success. She has the passion that has not wavered in her 46 years. She puts teams around her who has that same passion. And then she has young men who are here who have that passion, which helps me because that means I don't have to see them in court. So
That's right.
Thank you for all that all of you all are doing and that you are continuing to do. And then for this commission who's going to help you continue to do what you need to do.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. I almost called you Rep. Mr. Forrester?
Do that. I just want to say, I know I was at the school the other day.
Right.
I volunteer as a young man that I go speak on and speak with. But one of the things that I can say about Miss Akins and Principal Cozart, and I haven't met Dr. Hobson yet, but we shook hands. These young men, they're special. And what I mean by that is you have to go in that school and see how they move around and react and just navigate through high school. It's something special. I'm very impressed. I know we talk a lot about some of the things that they do, but one of the things that you didn't touch on is how much you work with the parents of the students too, because you know, we all know it starts from home.
That's right.
And you work with a lot of the parents as well, and I want to point that out. Even though you get with the students, but you do work with those parents to help them out, letting them know what's going on. Your communication is great. One thing I would ask is, what would be your wish list that you would like to have to continue on with the program? Now, that's a wish list. I'm not God. I can't do it all. But if you don't say it, we don't know. And that's something that I don't want to put you on the spot. But Ms. Akins, you've always asked for whatever you wanted. It's your time.
If we had our dream, it would be a building of our own. But let me preface that with, we don't raise our young men to be selfish. And we really emphasize to them, you treat people the opposite of the way you feel like you've been mistreated. There are places and buildings we know we're under a budget crunch. We would not put that burden at this time on our superintendent or our board members. In time, we are in a building that suffices what we need. As we grow, we will need space. But we know that there are other demands that are more important, and we don't move selfishly. We move so that every child in the district has the opportunity to be in a safe space to learn, and one that is updated. Our current location, we are in a modern, the second newest building in the district. So we don't have complaints, but we do have dreams.
That's right.
I love that. That's a great way to finish, actually. I'm so sorry.
Go ahead.
Oh, yes, ma'am. Before we close up, I just want to say brotherhood. I want to recap about brotherhood. In all these images you see, none of us are alone. The journey that I've been on for the past 5 years, I've never felt alone, and I never felt like I've been on a struggle by myself. So I just want to say thank you to all my teachers, and also it's a blessing to attend Carter G. Woodson Academy, and it's something that you have to earn and nothing that you can that just comes to you.
Thank you, EJ.
Thank you for sharing that. Thank you all very much. I hope you'll stay for a few minutes and let us socialize with you afterwards.
Okay.
And
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bring up our West End friends from Louisville, Dr. Gregory Ross. I believe you're going to come talk a little bit about what you're doing on the Louisville side of our state. So welcome. You can introduce yourself, and he'll pull up the PowerPoint here for you.
Sounds good, thank you.
And just turn on that green light so we can make sure we hear you.
All right, it's already on. Hello, everyone. My name is Greg Ross. I'm from the West End School in Louisville, Kentucky. And just a little bit of an introduction. I have spent all of my life in public education, because that's the first question we get. Are you a public school or you're a private school? What are you? I 100% believe in public education. So, but I also understand, and I've been, as an educator, especially an education leader, I've been in school leadership the last nearly 20 years. I was a principal in Paducah, Kentucky. We had the blessing and privilege of being the first 90-90-90 school. What that means is we were 90% minority, 90% above 90% free reduced lunch, and we were the top 90th percentile in assessment scores. And you know, with that came a lot of blessing. I was at the time it was Commissioner Holliday. I was kind of sought out to oversee teacher and leadership effectiveness as we transitioned into doing more with holding teacher accountability. Within 3 years, the school was back to being in the bottom 10%. After I left KDE as a director of teacher and leadership effectiveness, I was fortunate enough to go to Fayette County, and I loved my time there. We saw a lot of growth. We won a lot of awards. We were a leadership academy. We were fortunate enough to get to come down here a lot and share our story. Unfortunately, when I left to become superintendent of Danville Independent Schools, our school, the school that I loved and just poured my heart into, is now back into the bottom 15-20% in the state. And even at Danville, I'm glad to see Danville thriving, but we were able to see a lot of growth that first year that I was there. I had a guy come to my office named Robert Blair. He started West End School. He started with just 3 kids in a building on Chestnut Street in the West End of Louisville. And he was like, Dr. Ross, I want you to consider coming to West End School. And the day that I was given kudos and told that, my contract was still solid and strong, I had to resign because of what they were doing before I ever got there at West End School. I've never seen nothing like it. So as I share this story, I want to share that I do believe in public education 100%. But I also know that if you keep doing the same things and expect a different result, that is absolutely insane. You have to do something different to get that different result. And right now, our scores, especially for minorities or low socioeconomic communities, is dismal. So we have to think about what are we going to do differently to change the trajectory for our young people. And that's where the West End School comes in. And that's the only reason I'm there. I'm telling you, it's such a beautiful, blessed place. If you want to see what thriving young people look like, if you want to literally go in and just have your heart changed for a moment, I just advise you to come to our school just for a day. You don't have to, we're not going to put on a dog and pony show for you. I'm just telling you, just come and check us out. I think you'll be highly, highly impressed. All right, so I'm not going to go deep into our mission and vision because I'm also going to have our children say our creed. But I do want to say that our school focuses on the West End of Louisville. Now, if you know anything about the West End of Louisville, it is 3 times higher violent crimes than anywhere in the state of Kentucky. 3 times higher violent crimes. It's also deal with high unemployment rate and high homelessness. There's a lot of concerns in that area. So we're kind of this utopia in the West End of Louisville. And right now we serve boys age 4 to 14, pre-K through 8th grade. Now our students that are in grades 6 through 8, they live on campus. It is a boarding school during the week. Now, I also want to say we are literally private in the terms of funding. We're public in the fact that if we have space, we're gonna try to take them. but we're proud in the fact that we don't get any state funds. We get nothing. So every dollar we have to earn, my board works diligently to raise over $4 million a year for us to do what we do each year. So our middle schoolers, grades 6 through 8, live on campus. That way, when we have them, we know that they don't have to worry about those basic needs. Food, shelter, insecurities that may happen in the home. We don't have to worry about those things. We know that they are safe with us, and we work diligently to make sure that they feel that as well. And then in this past August, we opened up a girls' school. And we're grateful for a lot of folks that came. We had the governor came. We had a Representative Drummond. I'm sorry, that's not. Grossberg came. We had Representative Watkins came. We had a lot of representatives from the state that come and share their time with us, and we were very grateful for that. But our young ladies are now thriving, and again, it's still a gender-specific education. Our girls have a school, and our boys have a school. So this is kind of where we started. In 2005, we started with 3 students, and we grew quickly. And in 2013, we expanded by adding elementary classes because initially it was just middle school. And then this year we added our girls' school. Our alumni, so I heard someone ask about if we keep track of our students. Now, don't get me wrong, we don't have anywhere near the students of a public school, but we follow our students from the time we have them through high school, through whether it be college, military, vocation. Our goal is to see them to adulthood. Adulthood means that they're tax-paying citizens with a good job and able to take care of themselves and their family. So we stay with them, and our hope is as we change their trajectory, they're going to come back and make an impact on the west end of Louisville. So we're very blessed. That number 97 is now 101, but we're lucky enough to have 101 alumni. And I will say some of our alumni are high school students because we only go to 8th grade. But we're very proud of our students, and obviously, we are 100% graduation rate, and a few that are in grad school. We have a pilot. We started with such a small number and with just a middle school. So when I got there, we were at 85. So I'm at year 3 now. We're right at 200. So we're growing tremendously in a fast rate, but it's definitely a beautiful thing. So let me go back here just for a second. I do want to show you our creed here. Let me click this button.
I am a winner. I live in a country where I have freedom of thought and expression.
I understand that with each right and privilege comes responsibility.
It's my choice to learn or not to learn. But I must be willing to accept the consequences of that choice. And I must never think that those who chose to work while I rested and played will share their rewards with me.
Through education, I developed my talent through the benefit of mankind.
This is my time, my place.
I will accept the challenge.
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 So that's what our kids say every day as we do our morning meeting. So when you see this group of beautiful young men, one thing that we talked about, a lot of things that folks see or have to deal with in the West End. We talk about we have to make sure we start our morning every day with our morning creed. And that's because we don't know what these young men are dealing with in their lives, and we want to make sure that they can reboot and reset and see the excellence within them. So in this picture alone, you're talking about 6 people that have lost a parent to gun violence or violent crime. You're talking about homelessness. You're talking about insecurities. In this picture, we even have one student that was brought to us because he was literally cutting grass for funds to raise money, and he was cutting the grass of one of our grandparents because he was on the street. We are looking at kids and being able to say they started here, but then they become doctors. When we see them in a group, the first thing we say is we don't just see beautiful young people. We see doctors, lawyers, scientists, politicians. We see educators. We see professional athletes. We see excellence. So that's something that we ask them every day is what is the expectation? Hey, good morning. So today we're going to figure out what a school looks like when all the kids in it know the expectation of the school. Let's check this out. Hey fellas, what's the expectation? Excellence! Who are you competing with? Ourselves! All right, y'all have a great day. Yeah. Gentlemen, how y'all doing? Good. What's the expectation? Excellence! And who are you competing with? Ourselves! Thank you guys. Ms. King, can I interrupt your class for a quick second? Yes, sir. I just want to see if they know this. What's the expectation? Excellent. And who y'all competing with? Ourselves. Thank you, guys. Hey, Chance, answer this for me. What's the expectation?
Excellence.
And who are you competing with?
Ourselves.
Great job, son. Hey, guys, I don't want to interrupt you guys. Just want to know something real quick. Let me know this. What's the expectation? Excellent. And who are you competing with? Great job, fellas. Miss Jones, sorry to interrupt you. I got a question for your scholars. Okay. What's the expectation? Excellence. And who are you competing with? Ourselves. Great job, fellas. All right. Hey, guys. Hi, Dr. Ross. Miss Bradley, can I ask your kids a question real quick? Sure can. What's the expectation, guys? And who are you competing with? Ourselves. Great job. Miss McKenzie, is it okay if I interrupt your group just for a quick second? Can I interrupt your group just for a quick second? I just got one question for them. Appreciate you all doing art. What's the expectation? Excellent. And who are y'all competing with? Ourselves. Doing better today than you did? Yes. Going to do better tomorrow than we do? Today. Great job, fellas. When you truly know who you are and what you're capable of, there's nothing you can't accomplish. We are West End School. So we drill that into our kids so that they truly understand who they are and what they're capable of. It just means that much to us. I'm sorry, I should probably close this.
Good morning.
Well, let me just go ahead and play it since it's on. All right, they're just closing out in prayer. We're not a Christian school, but we do stand on our faith. So when we look at the numbers, right now, this is what the numbers say for Louisville, Kentucky, USA, and that's where we are in reference to current assessment scores. This is literally last week we did our baseline assessments. So this is copied and pasted right from MAP. So these scores are as recent as Friday. And as you can see, our scores are significantly higher than both the state and national average. Our class median for first grade this year is 85th percentile. We had 3 out of 15 kids that was averaging 95 or above in that group. So we're very proud of how hard our kids are working, and even we were really worried about our girls because they're just now coming in to West End, and honestly we were very worried about them, but their baseline scores right now are very good, and I was very excited to share that with their classroom teachers. This is our math scores, and our math scores, usually, especially the last number I saw for students that we would compare ourselves to was 19%. So for us to be at nearly 70% in math is somewhat remarkable, and we're very blessed and fortunate. And I got to tell you all this, our teachers, because this is what I want to tell educators everywhere. All of our teachers aren't certified. I want to put that out there. We do have some exemplary educators. We've got some from Berkeley, and we've got some amazing educators, but a lot of them are working in a field that they may just have a subject area in. They're not certified teachers, a lot of them aren't. But we ask one question at every interview, and that is, can you look across the desk and have the same goals and aspirations for that child that you would your own? We can't expect you to love them the same because you didn't create them, but we can expect you to have the same belief in that child. And if that question, if you have to stumble at that question, then this may not be the place for you. So one thing that we do that separates, and don't get me wrong, we spend a lot of time on professional learning, pedagogy, classroom management strategies. We spend a lot of time in professional learning communities growing our educators. But that belief in that child and that educator knowing that that child can accomplish any goal, it means everything. It means everything. So when we lock in there, it really does create a lot of support. Now, again, we don't get any state funding, so we literally have to raise every dime. We are blessed that businesses like Brown-Forman and other companies have really stepped up to help support us to be able to do what we do. But even when we think about the gift from Brown-Forman, it's $1 million for the boys, $1 million for the girls. We're still stuck raising about a little over $2 million a year. So I'm grateful that I have an amazing board and a beautiful Louisville community that really just pours out to us and sees the desire and outcome of what we're trying to accomplish. And here's our girls in action. So we finally have our girls on campus. That's my board chair there, Barry Barlow. We're lucky to have things like the Louisville Ballet. We partner with a lot of organizations for our lesson plans are all STEAM-based. So each month in our lesson plans built in is science, technology, education, art, mathematics. It's part of our lesson planning process. So we do a lot of experiential learning and explorative learning because of the fact a lot of our kids, not even forget the fact about going out of Louisville, a lot of them haven't even been to the East End. So we really try to give them those experiences and make sure that they're able to grow in that aspect and create those opportunities for them. And that's the West End. We were blessed last year to turn our creed into a book. So we're very proud of it. We had an amazing illustrator named Penny Weber that blessed us with her artwork. So it's a very cool book. And if you're interested in having one, let me know and I'll get one sent to you all.
Thank you, Dr. Ross. We only overlapped a little bit while you were in Danville. before you moved over to the West End. So I'm grateful to see you back in a different role. I have two specific questions for you. What is the demand right now for applications to your school?
So we currently cap at 15 students per class, and because we don't get additional funding, we can only financially support one class per grade per gender. So last year we had nearly 300 applicants for about 60 positions. So and that's heartbreaking. I mean, it's truly something that is the hardest part of our job, is trying to select students that it's hard turning people away, put it that way. Because the reality is, in our rubric, their academic score is very minimal. It's can the parents buy into what we're doing? Do they understand that this is a privilege, not a right, and that we are truly trying to change the trajectory of their young people? So it has to be a buy-in on both sides, and that also leads to a lot of family support and a lot of ways that we can support the family moving forward.
That's really interesting. And since you've taught in both public and private, and also dorm versus non-dorm environments, can you speak to a little bit about the overnight program that you have for the school? What's the benefits, challenges, or learned experiences different?
Every year since I've been there, you always have fifth grade parents say, you think the board is going to change on this one? Do you think the board will let me stay at home? And, when I first got there, it was new to me. So I didn't necessarily know the impact. But now, 3 years in, I'm telling you, it's a game changer. And now I had a parent, we had Fall Festival last weekend, and a seventh grade parent was talking to a fifth grade parent, and she was just saying, my child wants to be here on the weekends. Like, he would rather stay at school than come home. So I know, and she was like, I was a helicopter parent, but my child has grown so much. The fact that he does his own laundry, he cleans his room, he irons his shirts, he holds his other brothers accountable, he has chores, he helps maintain the grounds. All these things are part of him becoming a young man that understands his personal responsibility, not only on a local level, but a global level. So I think it's been such a huge blessing for me to see the development of these young men. So that's the character aspect, but also we know that they're safe with us. We know that their afternoons, they don't have to worry about, food or shelter. We know that we don't have to worry about, I have to watch my brother, so I can't do my homework. All these things that come. Who's in and out of the house? We had a young man, well, I don't want to get into certain situations, but they go through so much. They go through so much outside of school. So being able to remove that barrier and also protect them from some traumatic situations is such a powerful thing. They can focus on learning, focus on instruction. And in doing so, it helps them find their genius, because we also have, what's called Sharp Futures, and it's a group ran by C.J. Carter and a great group of young men, where they teach them vocational skills, leadership. They teach them videography. They do a lot of CAD design and so many creative things to help them in the vocational world. So all these things happen after school, so they literally go from chores to athletics / arts to study hall to dinner to a little bit of free time, and they're going to bed. I mean, it's a very structured schedule, but it also is one that they truly enjoy.
Thank you for that insight. Representative Jackson?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Dr. Ross, thank you for your passion for what you do. It comes through in your presentation. I had breakfast with Senator Rand Paul 2 or 3 months ago, and he was talking about coming and visiting your school, and he was very impressed. We were talking education, and that was one of the first things he brought up, the good things that you were doing with the West End School in Louisville. So
thank you so much.
You're getting his attention, and I would love to come and visit both of these schools when time permits. I guess, I'm in Bowling Green in Warren County, and we have about 30% EL students, English language learners. English is not their first language, and a lot of special needs, special ed students. You've been in both public and private. Do you have EL students? Do you have special needs students in your school? How do you see that working with private and like our other school here?
So this is a double-edged sword. So yes, we do, and there's times where we've even obtained students that had an IEP, but through instructional practices, literally have worked their way out of having an IEP. So you have to really get through this can't do, won't do, and truly, if they have a disability, a lot of that is something that you have to work through that process. Now, I will say, if there's a student, because you're also talking about a lot of federal funding that comes with those labels. If you're an ELL student, there is title money that goes to that, millions of dollars. If you are a student that has a cognitive disability, there's Individuals with Disabilities Education Act funds, billions of dollars, that go to that. We don't get any of that. So a lot of times when it gets to the point where we see that it's something that we are not funded for, JCPS has been very good about working with us to come and doing assessments, and we give that parent the option. You can stay or you can go, because we don't have the resources. We don't have physical therapists or developmental assistants we don't have the resources for it. So it's a two-way street. Sometimes we get students with those disabilities or language barriers, and we have, in fact, one of the young men in the picture, his name is Nay. He's now on our alumni board, and he is a very highly sought out accountant that's now in Cincinnati. So it goes both ways, but we do sometimes have to refer them to outside sources. And I would say that is also something that we really want to do, is work directly with public ed to support all students. We're not in competition. We're not here to say one's better, one's worse. What we're here to do is provide an opportunity to change the trajectory of the students that we have.
Senator Berg.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you, sir, very much for what you do. I was actually there for the dedication for the girls' school, and it was an amazing, amazing morning. And all I remember is I was in tears at one point. I mean, it was that impressive. I really have, I guess, is more of a question, because looking at the data that both schools have presented, and both schools seem to be doing exemplary work in their fields. What I'm extracting is that if you start younger, your scores are better. And so the kids that don't get to start until 6th grade have more to make up than your children who are starting kindergarten?
Pre-K.
Pre-K. Can you speak to that? Because there is a big difference, and I would assume that it has a lot to do with the opportunity for early childhood education. So
there is no doubt. There is no doubt about that. So if I go back to our scores page, as you can see here, our elementary scores are pretty significant. And most of our kids, when they come into pre-K, they stay all the way through. But I will say this is the only caveat to that. The reason we were worried about our girls is because they came from public ed with very low scores. We had no children that showed proficiency in the girls program. None, except for pre-K and K. First and second, they did not. So to see this kind of growth in 3 months, it's so exciting for me. But I do agree that there is something pretty positive. There's something amazing about being able to start early, and it's not just the instruction. It's also the character development, the expectation. We do a lot with Stephen Covey's 7 Habits. So when we talk about putting first things first, beginning with the end in mind, seeking first to understand and to be understood, when you think about those things and you put them into play from pre-K on through, it helps you work through those expectations, help you hold your siblings accountable, your peers accountable. It's a game changer when we can start them young. It really, truly is. This first grade group that we have right now, obviously we're a standards-based school. If we only stuck to the standard, but what we always say in every meeting that we're in, the standards are not the ceiling, they're the floor. So making sure our kids that's what you have to do. That's what you have to stand on. It's not where you have to go. So this first grade group we got right now, once they finish their instructional lesson based on the standard, for example, in math, this group is working on multiplication division in first grade, and they're soaring at it. All that to say, you're completely right on. When we can get these babies younger in pre-K, it makes a world of difference. I know in Louisville they have the Thrive by 5 initiative that they're working on right now. And I'm hoping that we can partner with that group to get more kids into pre-K.
Thank you. Senator Tishner?
Thank you. Thank you for being here. I've been a huge fan of the Weston School for a long time. My boys played ball against the Weston School back when they were in elementary and middle school. I have a few questions just looking at your scores, which seem to be some of the highest in the state when we look at other public education. What curriculum do you use?
So this is the way we look at instruction. Because a lot of people, when you say what curriculum, they're going to tell you Holden Mifflin, Scott Forsman, they're going to tell you a program. We follow the Kentucky instructional standards. We follow the standards. And everything else is a tool on our tool belt. So yes, we have Scott Forsman that we use. Holden Mifflin that we use for reading. We have McGraw-Hill that we use for math. We can throw all those things out there, but we focus in on the standards and we use everything else as a tool belt, as a tool on our tool belt. We use IXL, so when we have map data, we can plug in those scores and it creates an automatic pathway for our students. We do a lot of things with in math with Khan Academy and other resources. We use all these things. I'm blessed to have my wife as the principal, who's an amazing instructional leader. She was an amazing administrator. She was with KDE for a while in professional learning. So she brings an asset of curriculum and learning communities that is few and far between can provide. So all that to say, we focus in on the standards, but then we use our programs to support the standards that's in place.
That's good to hear. I think that's really important. Post 8th grade, where do your students typically move on into high school? Is it kind of everywhere or?
So we're very intentional about finding something that can help them meet their needs academically and emotionally. Like today, I was reading a meeting with Dr. Rob McCrae from Louisville Collegiate, so we have students that go to public. We have students to go to private. It's based on where they see themselves going. Currently, we have students at Male. We have students at Central. We also have students at Francis Parker, Walden, Kentucky Country Day, St. X. So I think the thing is finding that niche that is a good fit for that student. And we're also blessed that a lot of these schools work directly with us because, we're helicopter parents ourselves. When the last 2 weeks, last week I was at St. X, the week before that I was at Kentucky Country Day. We make sure we meet with our students monthly just to check in on them because it's a big world. You're one day, you're on the West End. The next day you're sitting with kids who, went to Paris for fall break. It's a big difference. Mm-hmm. So we got to make sure that they feel valued and seen, and so that's a very, very big piece of it. But they go all over. We just want to make sure that there's somewhere they can thrive.
Okay, and one final question, if you don't mind. So there's no tuition for the students.
0.
Can you talk about what what expectations you have of the parents and the family to contribute volunteering, or just what their involvement is, their buy-in. What is their buy-in?
So they have a 48-hour volunteer expectation. That means that they have to volunteer 48 hours. And it may not be just that one parent. Maybe it's a grandparent. Maybe it's a family member, an adult sibling. But that each family has to volunteer 48 hours. Plus, we have our own PTO group called Families Loving on West. It's called FLOW. And when I tell you that they're all in 100%, because they understand. And if you get a chance to see our girls scholarship online, they understand at that point that this is truly a privilege, not a right. And so whatever they can do, they may not be able to. We have a parent that literally is working midnights at Kroger, but you know what? He tries every month out of his check. He makes sure that he gives $20 to the school. They're doing the best they can. So whether it's volunteering in our front office or in our cafeteria, or staying and helping with tutoring in the evenings, or clean up for our dinner, our parents are all in, and we really do appreciate them.
Thank you. Thank you for the work that Weston School is doing for Louisville and for Kentucky.
Thank you so much.
That's all the questions I have so far. I just want to thank you again for sharing your story and the school story and the student success that you have for your kids, because they're Kentucky's kids, and both of you all are doing phenomenal work for Kentucky's kids. And I think it's important for us. We're looking at different models and ways in which we're meeting student success, and that looks different across the state. So thank you for sharing your stories, and thank you to the commission. Our next meeting... Oh, I am so sorry, Larry. I'm missing you twice.
I just want to ask one thing. Dr. Ross, glad you're doing what you're doing, and your wife. With you being here today and you listening to Dr. Akins and what they're doing at Carter G, is there maybe an opportunity for you both to see what both works for each other, and to maybe have a collaboration? Because what I've seen is, all of your funding is privately funded. That's getting harder and harder to do. So I know we talk about Senator Bledsoe, the public-private partnership. It could be an opportunity there. You're in Louisville, they're in Lexington. It'll be neat to see if there would be some type of collaboration, because what you're doing and what they're doing is educating the youth. And there's no reason to be separated. Not to say that you are. I'm not sure if you know Dr. Akins or not, but I just think that it would be a great idea for both of you to collaborate a little bit, because she has great wisdom, and you do as well. So I want to commend you for what you're doing, and just want to tell you thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. And yeah, we're open to it. I actually spoke to Dr. Roger Cleveland just about a week ago about coming and speaking to our kids. The only thing is that, and this is also from being a public educator, I understand that there are barriers in what they can do with us. There's no barriers in what we could do with them, but they're limited in what they can do with us. And I respect that 100%. But, like, for example, because we're a middle school, we want to make sure our kids can play all sports. It's not possible. When we try to connect those things in Louisville, they're sanctioned by the rules that are there. And so there are things that we can do. Like, we can definitely partner up on programming in reference to, like, maybe they have a great speaker. We could come and hear their speakers or conferences. But in some ways, we're extremely limited. But we do try to enhance those, because you're right, we're stronger together. That's the bottom line.
That is the bottom line. So I appreciate that very much. Okay, we're going to stand adjourned. Our next meeting is November 12th, and I thank you all very